Hey, how's it going? It's me, Truck. Alongside of me, I have Clockwork and Bloodsayer, and we're going to be hosting the surf event this year here at Tip of the Hats 2018. We'll be joining the surf server almost immediately because we're kind of running behind on time. But yeah, it's going to be a nice chill session. We're going to be talking about some surf, showing off some surf, and most importantly, talking about the charity and hopefully raising a bunch of money for Camp One Step.
Yeah, we're at 106,000. There we go. There's a $10 donation right there. So $106,555. So we're getting close. We're within $5,000 to $110,000. So let's get to that next milestone. We'll hit the gong once we get there. You can see there's tons of awesome merchandise on the table in front of us, Kurt. If they go to tipofthehats.org, they can find out all the ways that they can enter into buy those and also win some cool prizes.
Absolutely. I'm excited. I want to hit this gong by the end of the segment. I haven't had the opportunity. I've done it in the pre-show, but I haven't done it live. I want to do it live. So check out the website, check out all the stuff you can win in our sweepstakes, and maybe throw $10 our way and help out Camp One Step. I'm not sure if production is ready, but we are ready for surf. Yeah, we're going to be switching to surf right now. With Sean Bud Googly Eyes there. It looks like we have Ollie ready to go. And if Ollie, if you can hear me, we can start right now. I'm not sure if the surfers can hear me.
Hi.
Oh, hey, what's up, guys? What's up, Sloth?
Hello.
Oh, we got the overlay and everything? That's awesome. All right, go ahead, Ollie, and I'll explain the event. So the first half of this segment, we're going to be just doing as many maps as humanly possible, rotating throughout all the surfers. And we have Sloth, the online co-host. And Sloth, I need an introduction. Who is Ollie? Who are all these people with you?
These are all my good friends, surfers here. Oliver, Danish surfer, going to be kicking us off here with Surf Elysium 3. It's a Tier 5 map made by Sacred.
Nice. So, can you give us a full rundown? So we actually no, we'll do it each map. So basically, what Ollie decided to pick was a very difficult map from the start. And for those that don't know, Sloth mentioned Tier 5. Clock, you surfed before. What does that mean?
So basically, the tiers goes 1 to 6.
Yep.
It tends to be easier. Like the first tier is the easiest, and it raises in difficulty as you go up. So Tier 5, very hard. Couldn't really beat many Tier 5s. I think that was the peak of my career when I could reasonably beat a Tier 5.
So what you're saying is if I can't beat the Tier 1, then I probably shouldn't play the Tier 5?
No, definitely not.
Absolutely not.
I need to work my way up then. Okay.
No. A lot of servers actually have in CS Source at least, right? They have something in place to make noobs not able to play the harder maps, right?
In a lot of Counter-Strike Global Offensive and TF2, and even in Gary's mod, there's beginner surf
there's
servers
beginner surf
that
servers,
are
right, yeah.
only host Tier 1 through 3, just to help out the beginner surfers learn how to play.
Yep.
And obviously, Ollie is not a beginner, and he's playing a Tier 5 map in a segment that is focused around beating as many maps as possible, and he's doing great. So kudos to him. This is the map that was shown in the preview right before the segment started.
Yeah, I remember this the art style of Elysium. I don't think I've played the third one.
Oh yeah, speaking of this map is called, as Ollie approaches the final head check. This is actually a nail biter, but he's zooming. We can go right to the next map.
He beat it already?
Yeah, he beat it already.
Yep.
We're going to be grinding through these maps. These guys have been practicing whether or not the stages or the maps are difficult.
I wasn't paying attention. I was watching the thing.
Yeah. So yeah, Clockwork mentioned that map was called Elysium 3, and what is that? That's a custom-created map made by the community, and that's the third one. Each one of the maps you see has been created by a community member. If you could just press 6, Aaron, just go to console and press spectate, or whoever is on the spectator, and we'll get on there. All right, looks like we got system. We can, before I finish my thought, Sloth, can you introduce System to us?
Yeah, he's a nice Australian surfer here. It's 4 a.m. over there, so he's a little tired, but
Yeah, what up, guys?
Doing it for the kids.
it's all for the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. The surfing community is pretty large.
It's the interesting thing about the surf community is that it stretches beyond just one game.
Right,
This
yeah.
year we're doing Source because that's just the preference of the people we have this year.
Right.
But it's relatively the same game across.
Yeah, it's all in the
TF2.
surf engine, right? So.
Yep.
I was going to ask, because I've seen people argue Counter-Strike over Team Fortress 2, and I think the movement's a little...
Slight differences.
It is so slight.
Yeah.
If you are not experienced with surf, you are very unlikely to notice any of the differences.
I think Source tends to be, it feels floatier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you get
in
more
TF2
distance.
it feels floatier.
Okay.
In Source it feels heavier.
Right.
But yeah, it's a very much community-oriented game mode. Everything you see is made by a community member. Whether it's the timer that's on screen, whether it's the map, even like custom player models and mods beyond that. Because some surf servers are dedicated to combat. And bam, just like that system.
Wait, he beat that one too?
He beat that one too.
This is going to go by quick.
Yeah.
These guys have been training.
Yeah, no. When I first I think I tried surfing in Source when I was like 13, and that was like one of the combat surf servers where I wasn't very good at surfing, and I was just getting like people like surfing by and like opping me and stuff, and I was like, what is this? So I tried it again later in TF2 when there's really like no combat surf servers. It's really just enjoying the map, and it's can be pretty relaxing.
Can I ask a dumb question before you beat this map?
Oh yeah.
How do you surf? What's the mechanic? Because I know you're doing things with your keyboard, but it's not overtly clear because we're just watching you. Thank you for not beating the map there on the first try, by the way.
No problem, man.
So walk me through what you're doing on the keyboard, because I'm a complete novice when it comes to surfing. I've watched Clockwork do it. I have no idea. So can you tell me?
It's a good question for you, Beetle. While you're surfing.
If somebody else wants to take this one, I'm grinding hard right now.
So,
All I did.
on like a ramp like this that he's on right now, he's holding A on his keyboard. So you only really need like 2 buttons, A and D.
Okay.
And so depending on which way the ramp is facing, you just hit A or D to like stick on the ramp, and then you can move your mouse to go like up or down.
Now, I was a
To
brain
gain
dead
speed.
scout, so I only know the W key. So
Yeah.
it doesn't work for me. But I'll work on that. A and D. Okay.
Yeah,
And
I think
he just beats another map. No big deal.
yeah, I think a big mistake that the newer surfers make is they try to hit W.
Yeah,
It's like
definitely don't
it's like in
wanna do that.
TF2 if like you did a rocket jump,
Uh-huh.
like you don't want to hold W. You know, you can like point those guys out. You can say like, that guy's a W jumper. You know.
Well, actually,
That's, you know,
I guess that kind of goes back to like Quake movement a little bit and TFC movement, where if you were trying to bunny hop,
you would
if you
hit.
press W, it
would
would
hit
actually
W.
slow your forward
Oh
momentum a
yeah,
little bit.
okay, yeah.
Okay, I can get it
It's
in those
yeah,
terms.
It's
So
very
surfing is one of those things that is very easy to learn, but next to impossible to master. And the fact that surfing has been around for so long, there's an unlimited resource of maps and community that you can go to for any skill level. That's why it's so appealing. And beyond that, I guess we can pull the surfers again. Like, what is so appealing about surf? Like, why would you want to get good at something like this? Why is it? Yeah, what is the appeal beyond just gliding around?
The thing that got me is that it's fun at every skill level, like you're saying. There's maps for every skill level, and like once you're able to beat every map, which takes an absurd amount of time, it takes a lot of practice, there's still, you improve your own times. Then you start going for like top 10s or world records, and there's just no end to it.
Yeah, and it is very, very addicting. It's one of those things that you barely ever hit a wall in the difficulty. There's always something that can gradually help make you better in how many maps are offered in the tiers of difficulty. But I want to give a shout out to the Seagull viewers that have just rated the stream. So welcome, Seagull and the viewers. No pressure, as I believe this is Roldar doing a linear. He's doing a staged linear map.
those are the tough ones.
It's like fragvid surfing right now.
This map is actually one of the more unique maps. It's a new mapping style.
Beautiful.
If you've seen a couple of the maps that we played, some of the maps are just one long ordeal, and some of them are just staged maps where you just beat a stage, you stop, and reset. This is a mixture of both. If he were to fail, he would not go all the way back to the beginning. He would be going back to the stage. But since he is doing it so well, he can actually surf between the stages.
Yeah.
This is what we call a stage linear map, and it's a very unique and fun map design.
This is a map where if I were looking at it, I'd be like, I want to learn how to surf because it looks so cool. It's like
that's like
Tron-esque
that's the big draw, man. Like I started surfing, and it's not only relaxing, but the maps are like really honestly beautiful. Like you can get like every single type of interesting art piece, I guess, from every map. It's like you have the nature maps, you have like the Tron-esque maps, you have pretty much everything.
You
can find anything.
mentioned relaxing, and
Yeah.
you were saying that before, how it's sort of a chill sort of game mode, and you can kind of get that. Like this would go
Yeah.
great. I can tell with like some like cool music in the background. and
Absolutely.
just-
Yep.
This is, I feel like surfing and, as you'll see tomorrow, and jumping, they're like the ultimate game modes if you just want to throw on music and just play. It is very nice, and I can't believe he's just one-shotting this entire map. This is actually a fairly easy map to beat, even if you're like a beginner, but is rather difficult to one-shot completely because it's so long. And Roldar, one of the best surfers right now, is killing it.
He's making it look easy, and if you didn't know what this was, you would think he's just flying around the map, but he's not. He's from what I understand, he's hitting these ramps in a way that the mechanics of the game, the gravity wants to pull him down, but he's sliding along the ramps to give
Exactly.
himself forward momentum, and he's doing that in such a way, he's navigating the keyboard in such a way that he's able to really harness that forward momentum to get through these difficult obstacles. That's crazy.
And it's a very simple mechanic that can be stretched very far because you're not only pressing A and D to stay on the ramp, you are strafing into the ramp, so you are gliding in a very specific way to optimize your angle and momentum. And you learn the maps and their intricacies.
It's one of the coolest things of the Source engine and of the Valve games because they have that sort of built into them.
I think it's one of the, this surfing and jumping are, I think, very good examples of why people still play games like Team Fortress 2. The mechanics are very simple, but once you kind of dive into them, you realize how complex and how far you can stretch them.
Yep. Couldn't agree more.
Do any of you surfers play any other games or play any like first-person shooters in any sort of capacity? I don't know, maybe like competitively, or do you find that the surfing might help in those aspects, like control your movement or
I think it definitely
dexterity?
does.
Yeah.
I played like a little bit of competitive CS:GO and Overwatch and stuff, so I think it rubs off there.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I can.
When I played like TotH competitively, I think surfing actually really helped.
Okay.
Yeah, and you had great movement as a scout, so I could see. No, you did.
It's definitely important for
Questionable.
like CS:GO or TF2. You know, it does build that movement up. It's a lot of things. Like it's a key aspect a lot of like pro players don't really have to movement. You can tell sometimes when their movement's just not that great.
Right.
I've been told that we got a new emote from our last segment. I don't think that's the new emote, but if you would like to subscribe to our... Oh, we're just plugging them emotes. So if you just feel like dabbing in the chat with the or the TotH dab, you can go ahead and subscribe. If you have Twitch Prime, check if you have Twitch Prime. Top right of the screen, all the proceeds from the Twitch subscriptions, Twitch bits, and of course donations go directly to Camp One Step. And we are here to raise money for Camp One Step. And if you don't have too much money, but you got a Twitch Prime sub available, that goes a long way. So give it a look.
A lot of people forget that, oh yeah, I have a Twitch Prime that I can just give out, and go ahead and give it to us. You know, we'll take it this month. Like Kurt said, 100% of all of the proceeds go to Camp One Step. And if you don't have that, but maybe you want to gift the sub to a friend, or if you just want to subscribe, you know, you get access to the wonderful emotes like the dab. Also, we got the Brenji that came out yesterday, TotH Brenji, and you can go ahead, bring those into all your channels. A great way to pledge your support throughout the year. You get those emotes, so definitely check it out.
And I just want to say what Red Sea just did there is one of the most difficult shortcuts, in my opinion. Only like 50 people have been able to do it, and this map has been around for like a decade.
So this is what, Surf Eclipse, yeah?
Yes. Skipping that last ramp, this map is probably older than some people watching right now, and only 50 people have ever done that shortcut, and he just does it
Oh my
as
God,
he completes
that's
the map. So, well done, Red Sea.
Are there, I mean, you said before there's a whole bunch of maps. I can tell why, because these guys are just like burning through them.
Yep, we picked relatively easy maps. In fact, I was supposed to get up and do this map, Surf Fruits, but I believe Sloth, the online co-host, is going to
Yeah, we had
Bring
someone
it,
bail out.
bring it
on
home.
this
Yeah, I had
map.
to bail out. I was just very afraid of surf routes. It's actually one of the most. I think it might be the most popular map, maybe because of its name. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say it's particularly good,
No.
but
No.
but it's very iconic, I guess.
It is iconic. Yep.
And Sloth is just killing it. This stage is just clunky
Oh.
mess, and
Well, I think like in TF2 especially, I feel like it's clunkier.
oh yeah,
When I played it in TF2, it was like, oh my god, what is happening?
TF2's hitboxes are slightly bigger, and when you're going through these like
Yeah.
narrow gaps, it's a little bit more difficult.
Is this fruit themed?
Yes,
Yes.
it's actually called Surf Fruits. There's
This stage is like a strawberry, if you couldn't tell.
as you can see, there's strawberries on the walls, so this is a strawberry stage.
Hit that fructose.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The whole map is fructose, really.
Okay. Great.
And for those that are wondering, we got some music in the background, and we normally have music during the surf segment because there is no audio in surf, essentially, because it's a custom game mode. So we got the boys from Momentum Mod, who are making a custom standalone game for surfing and b-hop to donate their music, their pre-alpha music, for us today. So big shout out to Goknak and friends who are working on Momentum.
Is going to be a game just surfing?
Yes.
That's awesome. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so actually it's Monolith who made it. He's on the team. And yeah, all of these songs right now are just kind of pre-alpha, so they might actually change by the time we get around to making a custom campaign. So right now we're working on just getting the community and multiplayer aspects of Momentum up so that you can download any map, play any surf or bunny hop map that you want, and it's based on Counter-Strike Source's physics, so it's probably the more preferred physics for it. And yeah, so the music that you're hearing now is from the campaign section, which is planned to come much later. It's like 2.0, so we're not even at 1.0 yet, but
Nice.
we're getting there.
Smiley face.
Yeah, Sloth just throwing down a smiley right at the end there, completing Surf Fruits. I don't know how to talk anymore. But yeah, Momentum is going to be a standalone surf and b-hop game. The goal is to unite all of the communities and create a standalone game and maybe appear in Games Done Quick in the future. Because that is a big requirement for GDQ for it to actually be a game, not a mod within a game. And I also wanted to give a huge shout out to KSF for providing the servers and just organizing everything with me last minute. So thank you, KSF. Once again, a community running surf servers in Counter-Strike, Source, CSGO, and maybe even like Gmod. They've run a lot of they've run a lot of servers and a lot of games over the years.
Yo, this guy is flying. What's this like? What is the speed? Is that units a second?
Yeah,
what is
units
a
per
second?
second,
And what's a unit?
Yep.
Good question.
Oh, it translates to inches. I forget the unit though.
Form of measurement.
Yeah.
So you're going over 2,000 inches a second.
Okay.
Not directly. Oh, wait, hold on. I think 3,500 is like 150 miles per hour.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fast.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
it's
the
pretty
max
fast.
speed that you can achieve unless
You've broken the law.
the cap is removed.
Yeah.
So I just got a little bird in my ear told me that we are 50 subs. Is it 50 away from a new emote? As you can see, one of our most recent emotes is Brenji. For those that didn't see the video yesterday, definitely check it out on our YouTube channel. But again, if you do have that Twitch Prime sub available, or you just want a sub and you're not subbed, 50 subs away from a new emote, guys. So thank you very much for using your Twitch Prime on us and supporting the stream.
We talked a little bit too about how, TF2 or Counter-Strike physics, bringing up the topic of TF2, we are accepting TF2 items. And maybe you've decided, well, hey, we got a
hello.
500 from RNC.
RNC.
So thank you, RNC.
RNC.
Big shout out to RNC. He actually is a jumper, surfer, and he used to map for jumping and he maps for surfing as well. So thank you so much, RNC. And I got productions like gong that shit.
Go
So
gong.
I'm like, okay. There you go, RNC. Thank you for the 500. And we are approaching 10K as well. We will hit the big boy here if we get to 110K. So thank you very much, RNC. And I actually haven't read any donations yet. So.
While you queue up, just to finish my point real quick, you know, if you've decided that TF2 is no longer the way to surf and you have some TF2 items, if you're all about Counter-Strike Go now, you have some TF2 items. When you click on the donate button beneath here, or if you go to tipofthehats.org, you can choose to donate either cash or your TF2 items. And we take a lot more items this year. It's very simple. You just go in, see what we take. It converts right into cash that goes 100% to the charity. I'm sure you have at least $1 worth, and every dollar counts. You know, we read a lot of where we see the $500 donations, or we read a lot of the $100 donations because we want to pay respect to our big donors, but we do read the small ones, and it's a great way to support by just giving your TF2 items for just, you know, pennies on the dollar, but it all goes to a great cause, and it all counts. As Kurt said, you know, we're about to reach over $108,000. It would be really cool if we can push that to 110 by the end of this segment.
I really want to hit that gong. And I want to shout out some people that have been donating here. I have been slacking on the donation reading. We got Anonymous with $100, and he says, surf! Shout out to Kurt, Sam, Red Sea System, Ollie, and everyone else who I can't remember immediately. Thank you, Anonymous. We got Cray Boff, and he said, with $151, says, thank you all for continuing this awesome project for the kids. And we got Jackie Blair, and he says, I don't got money, but I do got items. He donates $4.20 in items, so definitely check that out. Like Bloodsire just said, if you want to check out the website, tipofthehats.org/donate, click the I want to give my items button. I don't think that's exactly what it says. And just throw your items away, and it will turn into money for the kids.
Yeah, there's two buttons. There's a cash button, and then there's an item button. You can choose either or. And when you do donate, both items and cash, you can pick an incentive. And those are big. You know, they basically dictate what we're going to do on the show during the later segments. And you're also eligible for cool prizes. You know, we have the Genji statue signed by Siegel that we're going to be giving away. We have that TF2 golden frying pan, which is like some ridiculous.
Even if you don't play TF2, that's worth $2,000.
Yeah,
so you might want to win that. Pretty good.
Go to the website. You can see how you can be eligible to enter into those into that sweepstakes. It's definitely worth checking out.
And just a heads up, I got another bird in my ear telling me that if you did check your items earlier and it wasn't working, you're getting some errors. Gio, working around the clock, has fixed a lot of errors that may have come up for some of you guys. So give it another look. See if you got some items that you can throw our way.
And it just worked for that other guy who donated his
Absolutely.
Items, so, yeah.
Someone donates $50. His name is Cross. He says, this one's for Troffles. Lighters up, boys. And for those that don't know, Troffle was a fantastic surfer that was a part of every Tip of the Hats, I believe, except for the first one. And he's moved on to other games in real life. So big shout out to Travelcopter. All of us are good friends with him in the surf community. So thank you very much, Cross. And shout out to Troffle.
Here's another one of those maps that look like one of the maps that I'd want to surf on. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, we got some fan art coming in.
So this next map is based on the game Ori and the Blind Forest, and there's some music in the background if you want to turn that on.
Oh, yeah. So Beetle has finished the map. We're going to be switching to, I believe, find out. I know what this is. We want the audio on for this one if we get the audio guy. If you're ready to cue the audio. Some of these maps are very, very cool themed, and you will probably immediately recognize this map if you have played the game. This is actually a map called Surf Ori and is based off Ori and the Blind Forest, and there's music that plays from Ori and the Blind Forest. It's one of the coolest maps, in my opinion, as far as theme goes, and I forgot who made this map, but they did an excellent job.
I love this soundtrack. I have it on my phone. I listen to it, on the regular.
Unbelievable.
Hey.
And speaking of unbelievable, you don't have to tell me twice. I'm ready to hit that gong. $500. Thank you, Mev. That's for you. And thank you for contributing that hefty sum of money for the kids.
That puts us less than 1,000 to go before we hit 110. And I think that's big gong worthy once we get to the 110 there. Another milestone. So keep them coming, guys. We are less than 1,000 away before we hit that. It'd be really cool if we can get to that 110 before the end of this segment here.
I think it's actually a shame, like all these maps, they're made so well, atmospherically, you know? I never remember the name, like the creator of the maps. You know.
Yeah, I think the only complaint I have with some maps is that the creator doesn't give themselves enough credit. Like, it's
right?
like a
That's what I'm
tiny
saying.
little
Yeah.
written thing, like in the corner of the map.
Oh, by the way, I made this. You know. Like,
It's like,
Come on.
it's pretty breathtaking that people are able to just make a custom map and just make it look so good and
like,
defined.
especially for maps like this, like there's so much like testing that has to go into making the
Absolutely.
map because you have to actually make sure that the surfs are possible. Like you have to gauge how hard they are. There's a lot of work that goes into it.
It's a huge creative statement to just go out there and make a map that works and looks nice and has this cool theme. And yeah, take credit for your work, guys.
According to
Just a
Game
shout out-
Banana, it's made by Stats33. So shout out to you for making this beautiful map. And I want to read the donation, the hefty donations here from RNC. He says, "Fart, smiley face." So thank you for the $500, RNC, and the silly little message there. And we got $100 from Gold Rush Buster. He says, "Truck surf, woo! Please put this towards the Rick Flame guest appearance incentive." As we all know, Rick Flame, legend of the sport. AZL with $250. And he says, "Hi, Knert, smiley face." Thank you, AZL, for the $250. And we had another 500. I don't want to miss that one. So when it gets sent to me, I will read it. Thank you very much. Oh, it's right here. Mev. And he says, "Yo, shout out to Momentum Bot." Thank you very much, Mev. I know he works very hard on Momentum Bot. I forgot what his role is. Goknek?
He's the coder.
He's the coder.
So Mev is a fellow coder on Momentum Mod. He's currently working on the dynamic or the dedicated server aspect.
And I've been rudely talking over one of the greatest soundtracks of all time, Surf Space Jam, with the Space Jam theme song. And Red Sea wanted everyone to know this is his favorite movie, and it definitely is one of the best movies of all time.
I've beaten this map before.
This one hits close to home for me. I'm all about the Slam Jam.
Slam Jam.
Oh, yeah.
And like each stage is even themed. This is Tasmanian Devil. You do a spin. You know, it's great.
Oh.
Boom.
And the gang comes together, and this is the last stage.
So Kurt, you are pretty good at surfing, yeah? I mean, I know you are
I'm
because I
alright.
watched your stream. Like back when I was trying to get like good at surfing, I got like pretty okay, but you were still always better than me. So it's I'm gonna go into how good you were. How good were you at surfing?
I got to a point where I had 98% of the maps completed.
That's pretty crazy.
So it was I'm all right. But the thing is, when you there's different ways to gauge skill
Right.
level in surf. Some of the people here have really, really low percent completion, but like almost every map that they play, they just grind
because
out
they
like a
grind the
world
same-
record.
right, yeah.
So I would consider those players better than me, but it is
Yeah.
a different skill set.
It's definitely different. I was more toward like trying to complete as many maps as I could, I think, as opposed to like getting the best time on map. But you know, I know from experience that I've tried to get really good times on map, and
It's
really
interesting.
difficult.
It's a very different dynamic.
It's super
like,
different.
You wonder, like, there's so many different ways you can approach surfing. A lot of people go into trying to beat as many maps, but then you just find out maybe you don't like a lot of the maps and you really like a specific map.
Yeah.
Some of the easiest maps in surf are the most competitive when it comes to just like difficulty of a route. Like it could be a very simple map, but routing it optimally is insanely hard.
I think it's so hard to pay attention. My downfall was it's so hard to pay attention to what you could have done better when you're trying to grind these maps and like find the most optimal route and stuff. You have to be paying a lot of attention to what you're doing, and you know, like teaching yourself, correcting yourself, criticizing yourself. It's a lot of work.
You know, I had 2% of the maps completed. So
Right.
if you combine...
Did you actually?
Did you actually?
I don't think you did.
No.
Oh,
Probably
I was
small
interested
percentage.
to know what maps you played.
didn't.
Probably like Surf Classics.
Yeah,
we
I
should have
think-
done Surf Classics.
I think I did a
Everybody knows
few,
that.
but like I don't know if it's the patience or just the brain speed to map out. Like, okay, I'm turning now, and okay, now I hit a wall, and then I never get far enough, or I don't have enough patience to follow it through. But this is
Right.
like just watching these guys do it. It's just a masterful display of. Like, look at this. He's going through, weaving in and out of this like complex pattern.
those
It's
are
like
difficult.
It's memory. It's dexterity. Very impressive.
Yeah, and I just took a little look at the donation amount, and we're almost at 110K. So thank you guys so much. If you have some extra money, if you have some extra TF2 items, throw them our way. We'll be hitting that gong at 110K, and Yeah, I think it's time to read a little bit more donations here. I got a ton, so thank you so much. We got $100 from EgoSock, and he says, been watching TotH since the first year. Love the community and to see many familiar faces. Always excited to help out the camp. Thanks for all the team is doing and making such a great show. Ready to donate more throughout for some incentives too. And that is a great segue. We got a lot of incentives. We're going to be unlocking even more incentives as time goes on. So keep an eye out for that. We'll try to get it in your ear when they are popping up.
And just to remind everybody, if you're tuning in, if you've never watched a Tip of the Hats before, we're here raising money for children or Children Oncology Services in the Camp One Step. They're basically an organization that allows children who have been diagnosed with cancer to recapture some of their childhood, to make these combined or these shared experiences where they can just be a kid. And, you know, we're here, we're gamers, we're just having fun, we're watching other gamers have fun, and that's what we want to do. And I'm sure everyone in our audience, they also want to have fun, and it's a great, it's really a great cause to try to put some more fun back into these kids' lives. So when you donate, that's what you're donating to.
And we have one of the campers on set, and he will be playing some TF2 in, I believe, 2 hours' time. So if you want to get a little bit more information from a camper themselves, we will be delivering that to you. Yeah, so it's really exciting, and I'm very thankful for everybody that has donated.
$100.
Another 100.
Dirty Dan, man.
Another
Dirty Dan,
$100.
man.
Thank you very much. We are so close. I want to read off some more donations. We got Sneak, and he says, thank you guys for putting on this wonderful event every year for such a noble cause. I love doing what I can for the greater good. Keep up the awesome work. P.S. 85 ticks, still best surf, truck surf. Thank you, Sneak. For those that don't know what that means, there's different tick rates for surfing. It's super complicated, but essentially it just changes. It's just like a different custom game mode, and Sneak owns a lot of custom servers in Counter-Strike Go. So shout out to Sneak and his community.
What does that affect momentum in some way? Or?
The higher the tick rate, the faster you get, the more momentum you get from ramps. So certain shortcuts and different strategies are different on a higher tick rate.
That sounds like Valve coding.
Yeah.
In TFC, there was if you played the heavy weapons in TFC and you put your FPS at like, I think it was like 80 or something, you actually shot faster.
Really?
Yeah.
So that was the strat
So if you
for
played
heavy.
heavy and you changed your frames per second, you could do more damage. Thanks, Valve.
It's pretty cool. Like the amount of effort that goes into each community server is astounding. There's custom surf timers for each community essentially, and they're all pretty darn good.
Showing off a little bit. Or actually, was he slowing down his speed?
Just slowing down a bit.
Yeah.
This map, okay, speaking of how far this community has gone, this map is actually called Surf Fordham. And for those that don't know, Fordham is an energy company based somewhere in Europe, and they commissioned a group of mappers to make a map for them to showcase at DreamHack Summer this year, I believe.
DreamHack Masters Stockholm.
Yeah, so
it was played there.
It was played like at the event. That's pretty amazing.
So is this what the facility looks like?
They made the facility. And mind you, this was made in Counter-Strike, I believe Counter-Strike Go, and ported to Source. I don't know how old Source is, but it's at least 15 years old. That's pretty unbelievable that this is even possible. So big shout out to the map creators. It's
a cool
amazing.
backstory.
Yeah. So I don't know how much time we have left on the until we do the racing. I don't know if the surfers just want to continue just plowing through maps for the rest of the segment. I didn't set a timer, but whatever you guys want to do, we'll keep going. You guys are doing a fantastic job. By the way, shout out to all the surfers. You guys are doing great. I'm sorry if we're talking over you a little bit, but we're raising a lot of money for the kids in this segment.
No worries.
Thank you.
For the kids.
It's
For the kids.
Any surfers, any stories or anything you want to make sure that you get to or talk about?
It's very open-ended.
Mac, how much does momentum cost?
Oh, glad you asked. Momentum Mod is going to be completely free.
Free.
Yeah,
Hey.
$0.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you say free, do you
believe-
mean, what do I have to pay? Is that like
Like
$1?
nothing. Like pretty much you dig in your pocket, you pull nothing out.
Can I have two?
That's all you gotta pay. Yeah.
It's free, I'll take two.
You gotta take two of them.
All right, cool. Thanks.
But yeah, the hope is that making it free and kind of concentrating all these wonderfully made community maps in one place, along with the different play styles, so surf and bunny hop, and maybe even tricks or jump, or anything that we want really. we can just make a central place for everybody to like try all these different maps out and all these different game types out.
Has there ever been a game that's just centered around that kind of gameplay?
There are a couple
Yeah.
that we're trying to capture that. I think Bunny Hop League is one. I believe there's Creed's Climbing is a standalone game based on like Counter-Strike 1.6, I think. Physics.
Wow, climbing brings me
Climbing,
back.
yeah.
I used to,
Yeah, climbing.
there was a TFC map which was it was like Nintendo 64, the Mario the castle. You would just climb.
Oh, I
over.
did. Yeah, I did that
You
too.
did that?
Yep.
That was fun. But I always thought watching you guys surf and then watching other people jump. I always thought like, man, this is like has its own market. This has its own sort of.
It is
skill.
amazing.
Should be a game. So that's cool to
Right.
hear that it's going to be free.
Yeah, absolutely. And the the other side to it is it can't cost money because we have to pay Valve a license fee to actually charge money.
What?
Oh!
Havoc physics, yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Goknak, but we just got an I think that's $1,100 donation.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And you know what? I see the production crew jogging over, like, get over there, Kurt. We got to hit the gong. So we're gonna hit the gong while we celebrate this.
Kurt
Hit the gong.
grabs the gonger. Here's his approach. Warming it up. Hey! That's like a double gong, because not only is that 1,000, but that puts us at over $110,000. So we did it. We got there, surfers. During the segment, we've reached another milestone here, jumping up above 110K. Thanks to all the supporters. Thanks to everybody who's watching. And again, if you can't donate, just spread the word. It really helps us out to get the word out there and bring some more people into the stream. They can understand what the charity does, what it is we do, and we can all help a good cause together.
And I wanted to read a couple of these donations really quick because I recognize a lot of these names. We got Pretzel, a surf mapper, and he says, shout out to the surf mappers, feels happy hug. Thank you very much for the $10, Pretzel, and your maps are fantastic. Exu, a very good surfer himself, $25, and he says, best segment of TotH, not biased. Always a blast to watch others show their talent in different areas. Also, Oliver is the best. I don't know what that word is, so I'm not reading it.
I had that a few times.
Night.
All right.
Hi, Exu. So we're kind of doing a race here also.
All right, so we're racing a map here, and this is if for those that probably know Omnific, this is an interesting map that is somewhat similar to Omnific. It's called Surf 666, and it has nothing to do with any like hidden meetings. It has everything to do with the map is 6 stages long. It's a tier 6 map, and what is the last one?
6 bonuses.
6 bonuses, yes, that's right. And all of the stages are designed around the tiers. For example, stage 1 is supposed to be tier 1, stage 2 is supposed to be tier 2, so on and so forth. So it is a very popular map in that the difficulty progression is very smooth. So even if you are super new, you'll play this map and probably still have fun on the first stage. It'll take you a little while to beat it, but it's great. So this is a very good map, especially for a race like here.
I remember playing this map. I couldn't beat the 5th one, I think. It was like it's a very frustrating experience. I used to get really mad.
It's a interesting map in that you have to kind of learn how to angle yourself differently, because when you are learning surf, you tend to just go down the ramp and right back up it. That's kind of like a habitual thing.
Not me. I went down the ramp, and then
I
I just kept going down the ramp.
But when you get better and more rehearsed in surfing, you kind of realize that doing that exact thing is not optimal most of the time, and flicking off ramps is not necessarily the best. I was asked by production to see who's in first place, but I'm not really sure. We could probably get the players to shout that out maybe, but it's a friendly race. They're all good. They're all going to beat it.
So many people are on stage 6 right now.
Yeah, we got Red Sea, Oliver, and Roldar all on stage 6. I gave up on stage 3.
Who do you got your money on, Beetle?
Red Sea.
All right, let's throw out to Red Sea production if you can. There he is.
Oliver
No
is
pressure.
on the last ramp right now. You
Uh-oh.
might
We
be
saw a
able to do it.
tragic fail by Roldar. He was on a no-fail run. Oh,
There.
Oliver, though.
So it looks like
Oliver
Oliver
finishes-
wins.
Oh,
What a god.
Great pull. PogChamp.
So we were
We-
pulling for Red Sea, and Oliver just
It's
finishing
okay.
it up.
Sneaks to the end, yeah.
Sneaky.
By the way, again, another shout out to the surfers. The amount of maps they were able to beat in that short a period of time is unbelievable. We did a test run last week, and everybody was failing. It was just a blunder. I was just like, are we even going to do this segment? And then they just go live on stream, big Seagull host, and they just kill it. And yeah, another race right off the bat.
Some more fan art on the screen
nice.
there. Yeah.
That's from Mindblow. I love you, bud. Making some nice SFM, and he says, I made a TotH 2018 related thing a while ago. Decided to delete it because it looked too basic. Now that TotH is running, might as well upload it. I don't think it's basic. It's awesome.
Yeah, and
glowy tipped lid.
And it helps spread the word. You know, people say, hey, what's that about? They click on the little hashtag there.
Absolutely.
And it gets the word out for us. So we really appreciate it. And that was not basic at all. It was awesome. Thank you.
I know this map too.
Yeah,
So
this is an old map. Yeah. You guys have anything to say about it?
This is the first of
Terrible.
like 4 iterations of this map. There's 4 different stoneworks. I think we played the 4th one last year.
And Crazy Cow just donated $10, and he is actually the creator of the Stoneworks series.
Oh, nice.
So shout out to Cowy Cow, Crazy Cow, changes his name
Cowy.
all the time.
A mooster.
The Mooster. He makes, in my opinion, he makes just very refined maps, and this is definitely one of them. Stonework is a very nice series of maps, and it's pretty cool how mappers kind of just like stick to a theme and just really flesh it out.
Are there any mappers? Do we have any mappers right currently? Are any of you guys mappers?
We have Beetle, who made one of the hardest bonuses ever.
Bonuses.
If you want to touch on
Yeah.
that, Beetle.
I threw it together. I threw together a few ramps and stuff, but all of it was detailed and made to look beautiful by a really experienced mapper named Synchronize. But the idea of the bonus was just to be like the hardest single thing in surf ever. And for a little while it was, and then it was beat by somebody else trying to make the hardest thing.
So what's it like trying to make a map that's going to be hard? Like, where do you draw the line between this is just hard and no one's like, this is impossible? Do you know where that line is, or is it something that is a little point of discovery where like together the community figures out we can do it this way? Do you know where that line is, or
no idea.
you have no
But
idea?
yeah, I think most mappers are really good about it. They tweak their difficulties so that it's just the right amount of hard without being too hard. It's still fun.
Right.
The idea with mine was I threw down 6 ramps, and then I kept testing it and seeing how far I could make it across each gap, and then putting the ramp there, like just making it the maximal difficulty it could possibly be.
you
If
ever
it was
get,
fun or
like,
not is debatable, but
Did you ever get
I
like
had
your
fun.
friends to like play test for you to see like?
oh yeah, we had some play tests and people weren't thrilled.
There's been a running trend of just making insanely difficult bonuses just to like try to edge people off that 100% completion mark. And Beetle started that trend, so
It-
I don't know.
It's
I don't know
funny.
how I feel.
It's funny because we talked earlier about how it's like a chill game mode.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
there's also like this low level trolling where it's like, let's just make the hardest thing possible
I would
to
say
make
it's
people
next level
rage.
trolling. It is absolutely crazy. There are some, like Beetle's bonus literally takes people days of playtime to beat. And there's how many ramps is it? 5?
6.
It's
6
6
ramps.
total ramps, and it takes people days to beat. So, yeah.
It took me 18 hours to beat that bonus. I still
my
hate him for
God.
that. I still hate him.
You can hear it in his voice, dude. He's like, took me 18 hours.
All
I
right.
can never get back.
I wanted to
hours
read
of
off
my
a couple of these donations because we did get that $1,100 donation from SNC. So I wanted to read his comment. He says, well, I used to stream a bit a year or 2 ago and had a few hundred followers, but kind of dropped off because of life stuff. Decided to start fresh, hate my old username anyways, and do it all over again. I really enjoy interacting with people when I game and hope others can also find enjoyment entertaining watching me stream. Glad you donated and good luck with your stream. Thank you very much for I think that's probably the most that have been donated so far in one donation.
That's a
So
big
thank
one,
you
yeah.
very much, SNC. I wanted to read a few more. We got a lot of people from the surf community donating, so thank you so much, guys. We got Joe. He says, Kurt, I want you to hit that gong. Watching this from Netherlands. P.S. Loving the event. A goblin named Joe. Joe, we did that for you. Thanks for the $10. Birchall with the $20. He says, for them kids, please have Sloth do another map. I love his surf style. Sloth, you want to get in on one of these races, dude?
Oh,
come on, buddy.
Virgil's a funny guy.
Well, you're playing the next race whether you like it or not. I think we have one more map after this.
Okay.
Yeah,
Get in there, Sloth. You can do it.
Roldar beat me here, so the race is over.
We got A Runner with the $100. He says, we did it. Another shout out to all the surfers in chat and that Goknak guy. Thank you, A Runner, for the $100.
Hey, Runner.
All right. I don't know how much time we have, but production will probably let me know. We'll do one more map. And this is actually an interesting map to go out on. Oh, are we switching again? What is happening?
Yeah, we went to a rookie.
All right, we're doing rookie here. This is a map that is designed for new players. So if you are interested in surf, you want to hop on Counter-Strike Source, you want to hop on TF2, you want to hop on CSGO, you should look out for maps that are easier. And this is a great map for that. It has a very low difficulty progression. It starts off like tier 1, super easy, and kind of ends off on tier 3. So you can make a lot of progress in your learning curve right off the bat playing maps like this. And it's a rather long map, so it's a pretty good race map as well.
I like that how in the map, it's not just the tier 1 map, but the map itself has multiple tiers, so you can gauge your process as you go. That's a good idea. I probably wouldn't make it past the first ramp, but
I think you would.
I think you would. It is amazing how
easy.
quickly you learn
Yeah.
surf. It might take a little bit to grasp, but once you get a hold of it, it's just you're doing it.
I have
You're
to
good.
teach myself not to hold W if I want to go forward.
That's all you
which is
gotta
a
do.
concept that is foreign.
That's all you gotta do, blood.
Well, easier said than done.
So we got $100 from Anonymous. He says, really enjoying the segment. Great job as always. Thank you. And we got $2.15 from Siku Konde. I think that's how you say your name. Unfortunately, this is all I have, but I guess it's better than nothing, right? For the kids. That is absolutely right. If you don't have too much money, but you still want to donate, feel free to do it. It all adds up. Our average donation is around like $5, $10. So if you want to throw it our way, it adds up. Look at the donation total we have, and we're not even halfway through day 2. That's unbelievable. Thank you so much for your support.
Yeah, there is no small amount. You know, we're talking, all the money goes to help kids. So every bit that you give is just more to help those kids. So don't feel bad if you can only donate $1. Again, we will even take your TF2 items. It could be change. Bring it in. We'll take it. We'll give it to the kids, and they'll have a good time. And that's what we're all about.
It's a collective effort.
Yep.
Absolutely. We got Not Steven with the $146.25. He says, been watching since the first year, really been enjoying the games this year. Keep it up, guys. Thank you, Steven. Or literally anyone except for Steven. Not Steven. Oh. Another $100 from Anonymous. Much love to all involved and donating for the kids. For the kids, dude. Lots of donations for the kids. Thank you very much. I cannot read them all, but thank you. I'll try to get as many as I can right now. We got Dirty Dan Man with $100. He says, thank you for continuing to shed a good light on the TF community and supporting such a great cause. Let's ring that big gong. Thank you very much, Dirty Dan Man. That $100 went a very long way.
And I just saw bits pop up in the corner. Don't forget about bits, guys. You know, that too, that all goes to the charity. Gift subs, Twitch Prime. If you have an extra Twitch Prime sub to give, we'll take it. You get access to wonderful emotes. And if you re-pledge your subscription all year round, you can show support, have access to the plentiful emotes. There's going to be more to come. A great way to help support the channel and, well, the charity.
And who won that?
I lost.
You lost.
Sloth lost, but he tried his best. Thanks for participating.
As far as the stream knows, I did, but actually Red Sea did.
Shout out to Red Sea. And we are going to be wrapping up. But before we wrap up, since you guys didn't have too much time on the mic, if you guys want to, give some shout outs, give some love, it's your time to shine here. If you guys want to go one at a time here.
I'd like to give a shout out to T-Flow. He's my favorite surfer. I think he's a lot of people's favorite surfer, actually, in the chat.
It's my favorite surfer.
If you guys
Mine
could chime
too.
in with your favorite surfer in the chat, that'd be great. Also, a shout out to Chuck, Troffle, rest in peace. That's all I got.
Shouts out to Buckethead.
Shout out to Melinda in the chat, dude. He's a god.
Anyone else?
My shout out is Skip Tracer.
Shout out to Brunch.
The meal? Brunch? They're like,
There's a
the
player
surfer.
named Brunch that
Oh.
gets banned from glitching stages constantly. So shout out to Brunch.
I mean, I like brunch, so shout out to brunch. The mealtime.
But everybody has their own thing, you know what I mean? But the rules are rules, Is that everybody? I don't want to skip over any shout outs.
Roldar.
Shout out to Scandi.
Oh.
Oh shit.
And Ali, you got anybody?
I just had it, Melinda.
Oh, of
He's
course.
like the MVP.
So yeah, I just wanted to shout all you guys out again. Shout out to KSF for providing the servers and just doing pretty much everything behind the scenes for me. Thank you so much, guys. And shout out to Memento Mod and Goknek for providing the music and a game that we'll eventually be able to play.
Hopefully.
Thanks for having
Thanks
us.
for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All right, we got, what do we have next? We have Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes next. Thank you guys so much for donating during this segment. Stay tuned. We got a voice jammer, Clockwork. You're going to have some trouble talking. If you hit that donation instead of, I think we already hit it, actually.
I already do have trouble talking.
Someone's going to explode. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So we have that, and if you like Overwatch, we got a big show match tonight with Seagull.
Yep.
If any of you Seagull fans are still watching, we got that later on, so stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll be right back.